I'm back in the carport garage today. Haven't felt good for about 4 days, so haven't really been doing nothing, but I got a couple more goodies for the cars. Over here, we got a stand-up radiator. There's two different kinds that'll fit these cars that most people are using. I'll put the part numbers listed below. So this one's the smaller radiator, which is plenty big enough. And then there's a beefier one. Like this one's 25421 or something, and the other one's 55241. Alright, so this is the radiator I chose. It's the 1-25241-XS. You can look these, you can Google Griffin radiator part number, and it'll tell you what each one of these numbers mean, and the letters also. But it seems like most people are using on the 93 through 02 F bodies, they're using the 1-25241-XS or the 1-55241-XS. Oh, I went ahead and undid the drain thing down there, and I got a 5-gallon bucket down there catching it, and I jacked the car up on some blocks. And then Christopher's car, we got some double adjustable rear shocks, QA1s. Yeah, QA1s for his, so he'll have double adjustables all the way around. I got single adjustables on the front, and I bought them used, and honestly I think they're shot. I don't think they work, but anyway, once you unscrew that thing down there, you do have to unloosen the cap, or on mine, and nothing would come out. But yeah, took all these bolts out here, and I'm gonna take this right here off. And then I'm gonna take this, that's just an intake with a velocity stack on it, or whatever they call them things. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that off. Alright, so I got the radiator out. I undid the drain petcock. Caught it all in that bucket down there. Make sure that you disconnect your coolant level sensor. This is the steam pipe that comes off the heads, and then your overflow, and your transmission lines if you've got an automatic. So I undid that. I unscrewed this all the way because it comes out faster. It comes out real slow. It still took it forever for it to drain. And then I took all that stuff off, the shroud off, and then I took the fans out, set those over there. Make sure you unhook the plug-ins before you go trying to pull that out. And it's hard to get your finger in there. I got to use a screwdriver, kind of wedge in there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Now I had the transmission cooler. I had that going through the radiator too, but now we're just going to be going through the cooler, so I'll have to make some line adjustments. And this is the 25241-XS, and then the 55241-XS is $100 more. It's a beefier radiator, but that stock radiator would have been enough, and that one's bigger. So I mean, you can just look at it and tell it's a lot bigger. But let's stick it down in there and do some measuring, because we're gonna have to cut this out. All right, so the petcock for the Griffin radiator is located right there, and in the directions they say to use some Teflon tape. So I put some Teflon tape on it, as you can see there, and screwed it in the hole. Now I'm gonna drop it down in there and see what kind of width I got where I need to cut. All right, so I marked a mark there, and I'm just gonna cut a straight line through there. This one has to come back a little bit. I measured it wrong, but pretty much same thing. Cut a straight line through there. I'm gonna let the radiator tuck under this part, and then I'll have to cut a hole right here for the drain. But you also got to cut down through there, which it's not going to be easy to do. And you got to be careful of this wire right here, your body harness that goes across the front. All right, so I cut across there. On this one right here, I cut through here, and that's about as far as I could go with the angle iron, because my blade's a little small. So, and then I just push that down, and I'm gonna cut right across here. Make sure not to hit anything. You got your hood latch bracket there, and then you got the wire for the hood latch bracket, but it's way over there. And then this wiring harness is the main one, but I took it out of this limb and dropped it over there. So I'm gonna cut one across through there, and then try to figure out how to cut that. That's where we're at. I had that big hole cut there because I had the little custom ram air intake I had going on there. It's making things a little bit easier. I don't want to come back that far though, because I want to keep these bolts so I can make a bracket. And there we go, it cut right out of there. I'll use a sander and clean all that up. But yeah, it worked for me. Now to do that side. Same way. Once I cut it from this side first, and then I cut across. Once I got about right here, I was able to shove it all down. Then I was able to get the angle grinder in that corner. But I think that's my last disc, and it's running low. I took the battery out on this side, moved the harness back over here, so it's all out of the way. And we'll do this side just like we did the other side. Alright, I finished cutting that side out, same way. And then I cut where the radiator cap's going to go. And let's see how it fits. I think that's about going to do it. It can go back a little bit more. As you can see over here, it's hitting on both sides of the thing, so I'll just get in there with one of the sanding wheels on the angle grinder and grind that out and get it to come all the way back. And then I'm kind of curious if those fans, if I can make those pusher fans. I might have to get some pusher fans. I don't know what I'm going to do with the fans yet. I'll have to figure that out. I wonder if I can just reverse polarity those and make those into push fans. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Alright, out here messing with the stand-up radiator a little bit more. I hadn't messed with it for a couple of days. As you saw in the last video, I was helping Austin with his head gasket. So I went ahead and cut this all the way out. And the reason I did that is because that hole that I had here for that over the radiator ram air, it just kind of looks stupid. Plus this part over here was beat all to death. I didn't get that very straight, but it don't matter. I'm gonna put a piece of sheet metal over that. But what I've seen a lot of people do is on this part right here. This is, there's two pieces of metal here. There's one down here. There's one up here. This one's canted for the stock radiator because it was slanted. So apparently you can cut this piece out. And then there's just a flat piece down here all the way across. And it's actually got a ledge on it right there that the radiator would hold on to. Can you see it? Yeah. But if the radiator sat that low, it would be so low up here that the cap would be too high to get the cap off. I guess people put a bunch of rubber down there. What I've noticed some people do is they'll weld a little piece of aluminum right there, and then tap and drill, you know, right in here somewhere, and just bolt it right there. But I'm not going to do all that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a piece of rubber, and I'm going to put it right there. And I'm going to, I don't know if I'll slit that down the middle, but what I want to do is I want to put it right over that hump, because with this part over the hump, that puts me high enough here that I can get the radiator cap off and on. It stands it. It actually stands it. It puts it so far back, there's a ton of room in the engine bay. I'm gonna have to get some special fans, because I tried to take my stock fan. I took one of those stock fans off. There's 4 screws in each corner, and I took it off, and the back of that one's so big it hits back here, and it's so big it hits down there on this ledge too. I could probably cut that out. Austin got one of those stock fans he took out of that, and he got it to fit somehow on his right there, and he just uses one stock fan, but that's not going to be enough for me. I'm going to get 2 fans that'll fit in there, that'll fit on the back of the radiator. But yeah, I'm thinking I could put this right in here like this, and put that groove right there, and it'll ride right here, and then the groove up the front of that groove thing will ride right here. And I got some that sticky back rubber stuff that I can put across there, and it'll never hit the bottom of it. Look at there. The first warm day and there's mosquitoes out already. I already killed 2 of them. But yeah, I think I'm going to try something to that effect. And then I'm just going to make a piece of sheet metal and cross here, and then just bend it over just enough to catch the ledge of the radiator, and then again put some of that rubber sticky back stuff on it. I think that'll be good. That'll give plenty of room in the engine bay, because the radiator is going to be way back here. There's enough room to fit the turbo in there easy, even way up here, which is why I'd like to have it about right there. That's where I'd like to have it, but we'll see how that pans out. All right, I took some of this hose. I don't know what size it is, but I tried this size first, and when I put the radiator in, it kept rolling over on me. But I took that hose, I cut it right down the middle, and then that hump's going to be right here, and it'll hold it from this part. Ain't even going to hit. This is going to be the main part. So yeah, we'll put that in there. All right, so that rubber piece rides on right on that hump, and that ledge keeps it from moving, just like that. And the front part don't even touch, and that'll lock it in there from sliding forward. Now, just to make a bracket up here up top, go over and grab it. All right, so I took this sheet metal, not sure what gauge it is, but I measured across here. And held the radiator up, measured that, and made a couple of marks there and there. And then I stuck it down in this bench, and I bent it and got it started. You know, lined it up and just pushed down on it. Now I'm just taking a pair of vice grips and grabbing it and bending it on out to get it nice and flat. Hopefully it turns out okay. I think that first bend I did on this bench was a little too steep, but we'll see what happens. So I'll put one more bend, just a slight bend across here. And the shorter this gets, the harder it is to bend on that table. So I had to hit it with my big hammer. And when I did, it jarred the table and jumped crooked on me. So the bend was supposed to go there. You can see it's a little crooked. But oh well, it works. There we go right there. And go right there. And fit just like that. So I'm gonna, Chris had those left over from his wheel studs. And I'll probably do a nut and bolt later. But for now I'm just gonna use those three. Put one there, one in the middle, and one over here. And I could also put some self-tappers in the front of that. Right up against that flange piece right there, through there. But I don't think we're going to need to do that. Because I tell you what, this is going to hold the radiator way better than what the stock was. It kept popping out of those. But and I might do another rubber piece. I don't think it'll matter. Because this ain't touching the radiator, it never will. And the bottom part is on that rubber piece down there. I think that's going to do it. Drill and tap some holes. Alright, these are metal screws. These are wheel studs for Christopher's Trans Am. We had some extra. So I used the drill bit that came with that. I held it with some vice grips. And now we're going to screw those in there. And I'll probably put some nuts and bolts in those. But for now, I'm going to do that so we can take the vice grips off, put the nuts and bolts in, see what it looks like. And there we go. That's going to be the finished product. And you know what? I don't think it looks bad at all. Kind of bothers me I got that bend crooked, but oh well. But yeah, it's in there. Shaking the whole car. That thing ain't going nowhere. And we'll take it all back out and paint it up. Now on the lower radiator hose, I'm going to use this right here. This is a MasterPro 21615. I got this off of another YouTube channel I was watching. But this side, see, this is 1.5 inches. That's the right size. So the top belt is, the top hose is gonna work fine. And I made wait a minute. So there's the top hose. It is a little short through here, but it makes it bubble up some, and that's a good thing, because that's where I want the turbo, right there. But I may lengthen that over here and then shorten it over here so I can get it to run this way. You know, be right up against the radiator, or close to it anyway. And then let's see how this one fits. So that one's way too long, but we can cut it right there. And it'll, I think up here, this is 1.5 inches, the thermostat housing. I think up here, this one, see how it's bigger up at the front? I think it's a 1 7/16 here, but I think back here it's 1.5. So we can cut it right there, and it'll go on there perfect, just like that. And we could cut some off here and scoot it back, and then cut a little off up here. I think that's what that guy on the YouTube channel did. He cut it off here, and then he cut a little bit off down there. But I like the way that fits right there, because it goes all the way up against the frame over there. I'm gonna cut it right here. I'll cut it right there. Slide it on there. Look at that. perfect fit. That's perfect, man. That'll work. I'm happy with it. What do y'all think? Hopefully the turbo will fit under this hose. Again, if not, we'll shorten it here. We'll lengthen it over there, and we'll try to get it closer to the radiator. But yeah, there's a lot of room in there now for shenanigans. The issue is now, hopefully, I can get a fan or two pusher fans that fit in here. Hopefully. But yeah, I'll take all that apart. I'm gonna do some measuring under here, see how much clearance I got. Clean it up, throw some paint on the grinded parts so it don't rust, and figure out what we're gonna do for fans. And I'll update y'all on that on another video, unfortunately. But just gotta find some pusher fans that'll fit in there. But I'll make a video on that. This one's getting a little long, but tell me what you guys think. I like it. I hate that I got that bend crooked. It's pretty noticeable, but oh well. It'll probably be even more noticeable once I paint that piece. And again, I'll get nuts and bolts for these, but for now, that'll work. But that thing, oh, it ain't going nowhere. Not going nowhere. I like it. But again, tell me what y'all think. Like and subscribe, and have a great day.